In this week's episode of Akame ga Kill, the 100-man slayer Bulat dons the manliest imperial arms of all, the Incursio armor, and you will feel much of his lance in your ass. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. My 4X razor has 4 high-quality stainless steel blades, and you can have this bad motherfucker shipped right to your door. Cut ties with traditional razor blades, and sign up for Dollar Shave Club. Remember guys, you can check out a link for that in the description box below if you feel like being a lazy asshole. It's dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money, razor pun. Did y'all see that this week? Did y'all see that this week? They introduced 3 badass characters working under Esdeath. They spend the whole episode building them up. One of them has a huge connection to Bulat, and at the very end of the episode, Tatsumi is fighting against this one freak of nature called Deidara, and suddenly Bulat just comes in, swats all of them away, and blows this dude in half. One clean swing. Bulat, you are the shit! You are the coolest character from this fucking show, and I have the scariest feeling that you are going to die soon, and only because of Shile dying in the previous episode, and the fact that this episode was building up Bulat's past and the connection he had with this guy called General Liver, who is now working directly under General Esdeath, and this guy is a badass. He will take you out with one swing of his hand and send your head flying right into the camera screen. This week's episode was so great. Not only did we get to see how the death of Shile was affecting Night Raid, but we also got to see General Esdeath is on the move and she's trying to draw in Night Raid, and she's actually trying to frame them as well. There's a scene where you get to see all of her 3, guards, I guess, taking out this group in the north, and they frame it all on Night Raid, but they just destroy these guys, and that's when we're introduced to them. They're all wearing black, they have devil horns on, and they all have, their distinct personalities. There's the one big burly badass dude, there's the one weird little cat girl who I think her name was Niao. She's basically the Neferpito of the group, and then there's General Liver, who's just freaking awesome. He's so great. He's just a wise, experienced old martial arts master who will cut your head off with just his hand. And it was so evident by the end of the episode that Bulat was going to run into him, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in this battle. After the death of Shile, every single time a big character is joined by Tatsumi now, or one of these big characters show up, you never know what's going to happen at this point. And I don't know, Bulat is so powerful. He knocked 3 of those guys away with no problem at all, and then he just bam! Just cut that guy in half. That was a really great scene. It was so incredible. I also loved the build-up to his transformation sequence, and I love how almost every single time he fights and, just destroys someone, it just rains down blood. It just makes it look so friggin' incredible. And I just can't wait to see more from this. Tatsumi, unfortunately, didn't really get to do too much, but he's up against some very strong fighters. That first guy he was going up against had, this, big axe that he could, transform into these, throwing weapons. And it really wasn't anything too crazy, and that's probably why Bulat took him out first. He was basically just the brute strength of that group. But I honestly didn't expect him to be killed in the first episode that he was introduced, because he seemed like he was going to be a little more important. There was also another cool scene where Leone actually had this chance to actually kill Esdeath, but it was all a trap. She knew that if she tried to attack her, something would go completely wrong. And Esdeath is a really weird character to read. In the beginning of the episode, she has this weird request that she wants to find someone to fall in love with, and there are just moments where she's very passive-aggressive and really creepy, and then times when she's actually kind of charming and cute. She's a really interesting villain, and I can't wait to learn a little bit more about her. But I'm rambling here. Let's get down to what really matters. What is the rundown on this week's episode of Akame ga Kill? Pretty freaking badass. I am a little biased because Bulat is my favorite member of Night Raid, and just finally getting to see him do all that cool shit this week was great, especially when he deflected that one guy's attack and went right into his transformation sequence. It was just really awesome. And I just didn't expect that guy to be killed so quickly and in such a violent fashion, but whatever, it's awesome. Actually getting to learn a little bit more about his past, like how he was a soldier and why he decided to leave, is because his general was basically like sentenced to death or prison, and they never followed up on what happened to him later, and I'm really interested to see how he got out of that situation, if he like intended for all of that to happen, like if he had a reason for wanting to like join the Empire. Like, I'm not really sure like what the whole details are behind that. It's very muddy and they haven't explained anything, but I'm very interested. Every single member of Night Raid has a really interesting backstory, which in turn seems to connect to the like Empire in some way, and that's going to make the all the stories seem a little more fleshed out, and I really like that. Esdeath and her brand new crew is really awesome. One of them is already dead, so I can't wait to see what the other ones are going to do. I was kind of hoping we'd see a little more from Seiryu and Koro this week, maybe just to follow up on what her character is doing, but I imagine we will get back to her again. You know, I don't even, you know, because I know she's going to get implants, because she already had, like, guns in her arms and stuff. There's no way she's going to die on the scene just like that. Otherwise, this was a great episode. The animation, the action was really good. Some of the dialogue was a little cheesy at times, and there was that cool scene at the very beginning, which was a complete juxtaposition to all the crazy body-splitting action at the end, where Akame breaks down in front of Tatsumi, and he considers that he's being kind of inconsiderate by bringing this up and upsetting her, so he ends up punching himself in the face. And that scene was, again, extremely cheesy, because, like, Tatsumi is definitely, like, my least favorite member of the entire series, and a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that he just really hasn't developed yet. He hasn't, like, gotten an Imperial Arms weapon, and he just seems, frankly, kind of generic. I really noticed that while watching this episode, because every other character just has such an incredibly distinctive design, and Tatsumi just seems like a blank slate. And I know he's going to change as the series is going on, but, you know, I'm like, I want an Oompa Loompa now, you know? I need to just learn to be patient with that. Otherwise, another funny scene that stood out was when Lubbock and Akame were hanging out on this tree, and she was hungry, and he gave her this snack, and she just bit, like, his hand completely. It was a completely goofy scene that doesn't seem to mesh well with the other stuff, but whatever, it's an anime, it can get away with that stuff. What I will say is I really loved this episode. I loved the developments. Bulat is still my favorite character, and I hope he doesn't kick the bucket, because the dude is a freaking badass, and I want to see more from him. But after the death of Shile, I don't even know. Any character could die at this moment, except for probably Akame and Tatsumi. I just don't see that happening. So let's just tune in for next week and see what's going to happen, and hope that it's going to give us a nice, big, badass Bulat action scene. Loved this episode. Little slow in some parts and a little bit of cheesiness in some areas, but this was a 9 out of 10 from me. Check it out, fans of Akame ga Kill. This is a series that's worth checking out, and it seems like it's getting better with every single episode. Good stuff. Thank you for watching my review today. Before you guys leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And make sure to tell me what you guys thought about this week's episode of Akame ga Kill. What do you want to see in the next battle between Bulat and General Liver? And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. We are reviewing so much stuff, everything from Sword Art Online Season 2 to Space Dandy, a series that if you like anime, you must watch. You guys can also check us out on Facebook, and you can follow us on Twitter. I'll put links for all of that stuff in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.